Let's talk about some LEGO Star Wars sets that are overrated and underrated. And yes, there are probably a bunch of hot takes in here. Let's start off with some controversy, and the Dark Trooper attack is overrated. I'm not calling it a bad set, I just don't think all the hype is really there. LEGO made boarding the Tantive 4 with the ability to buy more of them and expand the scene, but this is missing from the Dark Trooper attack. LEGO capitalized on the feedback received from fans and made massive improvements to this style of set, which I'm glad to see. The UCS A-Wing is one of my favorite UCS sets, and it's massively underrated. With so many UCS sets throughout LEGO Star Wars history, I feel it just gets lost in the crowd. This isn't a set that's talked about nearly enough, and sure, it isn't as popular as a Venator, an AT-AT, or even the Millennium Falcon, but it's a really solid display piece. This is a perfect model for an A-Wing, and the price at retail was $160, which was a perfect price. A really nice A-Wing pilot as well was included, and it's the perfect A-Wing. Yavin 4 is another set I consider to be overrated. A set that fans waited for years, and it feels like it just fell flat. The price of $170 feels too much for what you actually get. And yes, there are many amazing minifigs within the set, which is awesome, but we also need to talk about that tree and watchtower. Not sure what's going on here, but it doesn't look pretty. This set feels like it needed something else to go along with it, and I'm not sure exactly what that was. The rooms that you can access on the back of the set give a feeling of emptiness, but cramped at the same time. Overall, it's just disappointing for how excited I was for this set. The buildable Chewbacca has really grown on me lately, and for that reason, I'm throwing it in the underrated category. Yes, the face does look somewhat off, but seeing the future plans for LEGO Star Wars, it makes sense as to why fans will want to pick up the set. With the newly released $100 R2-D2, and later this year a buildable C-3PO, this trio of sets will look really good on display together, and it seems like they're all going to be near in-universe scale with one another. The crossbow design looks magnificent, and they really got the look down with the exception of the mediocre face. Sometimes sets take time to grow on me, and that's exactly what's happening here with our favorite Wookiee, Chewbacca. Luke's Red 5 helmet is one I'm not too high on, and I have to put it in the overrated category. I'm not too sure what it is exactly about the open look of the helmet for me, but it just doesn't do it for me. Now, in the movies, I absolutely love the look of it, but for LEGO, I prefer a more, I'll say, traditional closed-off helmet, something like a Boba Fett or a Darth Vader. Once again, I don't dislike this set, I just can't get on board calling this one of the better LEGO sets in the helmet line. There's immense detail all around with the padding for where the ears go, and the mic so Luke can communicate with others, and we can't forget about the chin strap. But even with all of that, I can't come fully around to say that this set is amazing, and it pains me. The UCS Luke's Landspeeder is a fantastic set and very underrated. Yes, we have many, and I mean many land speeders throughout the history of LEGO Star Wars, but it was bound to happen that a UCS model was going to be made, and it took long enough. Now, people say it's not minifig scale, and it looks kind of goofy with how the figs fit alongside the set because of the size. I don't really see it as a downside, and it really doesn't bother me. There's a display stand to put the figs on, and I'm not going to be putting them in the set to look like they're riding in the land speeder. Might I add, both of the minifigs in this set are amazing with that Luke Skywalker and that dual molded leg C-3PO. The land speeder is very good at what it's supposed to be, which is obviously a land speeder. The 2014 Ghost is overrated, and this might be the hottest take on the list. This pains me to say, but when you compare the 2023 version to the 2014 version, the newer model is miles ahead. Not to mention, the new Ghost includes the Phantom 2 while the previous version didn't, and you actually had to buy it as a separate set. LEGO made tremendous strides over all those years, and while the prior Ghost was and still is a great set, I hope we can have a UCS Ghost that we can say is the best version. Overall, seeing the improvements and inclusion of the Phantom 2 puts into perspective of how much better the 2014 Ghost could have been. And I'm very curious to know what you guys think about the sets I listed. Which ones do you agree with? Which ones do you disagree with? And let me know your opinions of what sets throughout the history of LEGO Star Wars you feel are overrated and underrated, and I'll see you in the next one.